Tokyo 2020 has come to an end. When future generations speak about it, the impact of COVID-19 will hit home hard. The games were delayed by a year as COVID raged around the world in 2020. No one could have imagined the games without spectators, amidst protests and talks about sponsorship and greed overpowering greater good. There was no shortage of controversies before and even during the games. But once the fire was lit, the world lost itself in the spirit of competition. I'm Sandeep Menon, and this is our final dispatch on Tokyo Olympics. Here are the top stories from the last day of the Games. American basketball star Sue Bird capped off her 17-year Olympics run with a record 5th gold medal following a 90-75 win over Japan. Marathon world record holder Eliud Kipchoge won the gold in one of the standout performances at the Tokyo Olympics. The Kenyan clocked 2 hours, 8 minutes, 38 seconds to retain his 2016 title. Jason Kenney brought the curtains down on cycling events, claiming a British record 7th Olympic gold. Now, as the Olympics winds down, the wait for the next one begins. The good news is, it's only 3 years away this time. The Indian contingent put up one of the strongest performances this time around, with 1 gold, 2 silvers and 4 bronze medals. This is India's best ever medal haul. Neeraj Chopra stands out for India. He brings back India's first ever medal in track and field, and that too a gold. For years, we romanticized stories of nearly there. Finally, the next movie will be of someone who got there, and his life has all the twists and turns to make a great script. A farmer's son from a small town who overcame odds and injuries to rule the world. A surefire blockbuster. Former tennis star Somdev Devvarman wrote a song for Neeraj, so check that out. But before Neeraj took the spotlight, India's female athletes took the games by storm. Mirabai Chanu's silver on the second day set the tone. The Manipuri lifted the spirits by ending a wait of over 2 decades for a medal in weightlifting. She definitely lived up to the expectations. Mirabai, along with bronze medal winning boxer Lavlina Borgohain, also earned the northeastern states the credit they deserve for their contribution to the country, and not just in sports. Lavlina's maiden Olympics ended with a bronze medal. Who knows what color it will be in Paris. PV Sindhu was one of the strongest medal contenders, and she delivered. She followed her silver from 4 years ago with a bronze medal, and with that cemented herself as one of the greatest athletes the country has ever produced, and won for the biggest occasions. There was a time when a popular publication called her a choker. It was laughable then, it's hilarious now. There was a silver for wrestler Ravi Dahiya and a bronze for Bajrang Punia. Both were contenders and both returned with medals. Impressive to say the least. There was also a renaissance for hockey. The national game of the country had fallen into a slumber over the past few years, but a bronze medal by the men's team after 41 years and a 4th place finish from the women were great achievements. Not since Chak De India had hockey been so mainstream. There were disappointments too, there always is. One can only wonder where the medal count could have been had the shooters and archers delivered on their promise. But the weight of the competition under the 5 Olympic rings is often crippling. Yes, history will always remember the winners. Numbers are easy to remember. But this group of athletes felt different. There was an unwillingness to settle in a lot of them. Ravi Dahiya looked desolate after winning the silver medal. You have more chances of seeing me smile in these videos than Ravi on the Olympic podium. He clearly wanted the gold. Lavlina was upset with herself for not getting that shot at the yellow medal too. Even Sindhu felt the pain of not making it to the final. Among those who nearly made it, Aditi missed the medals bracket by 1 shot, but made the country wake up and watch golf. Deepak Punia had an impressive campaign in his first Olympics. The women's hockey team showed steel in their spine and wept openly at the loss of a medal. This was a team that had lost the first 3 matches before finding its feet. Yes, the medal tally was higher, but the attitude of the athletes was different. For my money, this is more pleasing than anything else. Now, taking the microscope off and looking at the broader picture, 33 sports have been contested across 16 days, with 16 world records broken. The successful completion of an event of this size and proportion with relative safety showed a blueprint to the world. Japan is known for being disciplined and efficient, and they delivered. They managed even when the players tested positive, tried their best to tackle the hostile weather, and even escorted Belarusian Kristina Simanskaya to safety thanks to social media and Google Translate. On the field, competition was at the highest level and contested with the proverbial Olympic spirit. This was on display when Mutaz Barshim of Qatar and Gianmarco Tamberi of Italy decided to share the gold. the two high jumpers decided to put friendship before individual glory. The pair declined the chance to jump off for the gold and decided to share the Olympic crown. Barshim asking, "Can we have 2 golds?" will live long in sports history. Ariane Titmus won her much anticipated battle with Katie Ledecky in the pool, while American Caleb Dressel won 5 gold medals and set a world record to announce his arrival. Emma McKeown took home 7 medals as superstars arose to fill the Michael Phelps-sized holes. In a post-Usain Bolt era, there was talk about who will take over the mantle. Lamont Marcel Jacobs of Italy was not on that list, but he definitely is now. Italians have emerged as a superpower in sprints, with Jacobs winning the 100-meter dash and then leading his country to a 4x100-meter relay gold. Interesting times are ahead. Elaine Thompson-Herah won 3 gold medals and defended her individual sprint titles from Rio, a true champion. There were 2 of the greatest races of all time in men's and women's 400-meter hurdles. Karsten Wahlholm and Sydney McLaughlin had to set world records to win. Anything less was simply not good enough. Allyson Felix capped a legendary career with 7 Olympic golds and 11 medals in total, definitely on the Mount Rushmore of athletics. Simone Biles, a gymnast on whom you would have bet your house on to win and win handsomely, drew attention to discussions over mental health by sitting out for the majority of her events, citing the twisties. Her bronze medal at the end will just be a footnote of her time at Tokyo, where she opened the Pandora's box that athletes had kept hidden for decades. Pesky tweens and teenagers turned into trailblazing Olympic champions at the newly introduced skateboarding events. And on the sidelines, Tom Daley, an Olympic veteran now, showed he can spin the yarn as well as himself, knitting a Union Jack pouch for his medal.
So here is
an Olympic-themed cardigan by the end of the Games. After 2 weeks of action, this is what the medal tally finally looks like. After the 339th and final gold medal went to Serbia's men's water polo team, the United States edged China at the top of the medals table with 39 gold medals, 41 silver and 33 bronze. China ended with 38 gold, 32 silver and 18 bronze medals. Japan finished third with a record haul of 27 gold medals. India, with its best ever haul of 7 medals, is at the 48th position. With that, we wind up all the action from the Games. We leave you with some images from Tokyo. And now, over to Paris 2024. Thanks for watching.